Hi everyone, welcome. As you can see, I've already got my VermiBag Mini up against the table here so we can get to feeding. But before we do, I figured I'd share a few bits of info about the system here with you. The bag's been in service now for 569 days, over which time 45 feedings have occurred. The last feeding being 10 days ago. And a couple of the improvements that we highlighted during the last video, during the last feeding of this system, was the way we, number one, added some cross braces to the frame, making the whole structure much more rigid, and all this extra plastic that's been placed around it to help the system hang on to its moisture better. So I'm wondering if we're even going to have to add moisture today, because that's sort of become a routine. Almost every check-in has included a good dousing with my spray bottle, and I've got the spray bottle on standby, all set to go if we need it. But that's the big question. Are we going to need it? I don't know. Let's check it out. I don't know how visible it is on the camera, but I can see what appears to me like a pretty good size crater forming in the middle, which is something we don't really see very often. Most usually we come in and the surface is kind of level and flat. So perhaps, I don't know. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but the other thing that seemed a little unusual to me was the way there's just moisture sitting out here on this coffee filter. I mean, isn't that the whole job of a coffee filter, is to let fluid go through and not have it sitting there on top? So that just seems a little unusual to me too. I'm kind of anticipating that we're going to have a good bit of moisture in here, due to the fact that we've been now protected all the way around with a whole lot more plastic than we already had, because we already had a covering of plastic, but it wasn't it didn't come up very high. It protected the lower section of the bag a little bit better. Oh wait, what am I saying? Reverse that. Strike that, reverse it. Yeah, it was just the top of the bag was pretty well protected, but up here, you know, doesn't matter so much. There's no material there yet. Perhaps someday we'll get there. But you know what? Let's get over the anticipation here. For me, it has almost always been the experience reaching in along the side here would result in a handful of fairly dry, and for that reason worm-free material, because the bag breathes, allowing some of the moisture in the bag to wick through and escape, leaving the material out there on the side kind of dry in some cases, but that's not what I see here. I'm starting to get that feeling like it may not even be necessary to get the squirt bottle out here today. So that's good news. Now, one thing though, regardless of the fact that our main reason for going around like this and tilting up the outer edges was to introduce moisture to the dry material, we still have work to do because we wanted to get this leafy matter. I've got my box of leaves on standby for a nice new fresh replacement top dressing of leaves. So I did want to just, take the time to take a quick lap around the system to, if nothing else, blend in the leaves. If need be, add moisture too, but it's so cool to be able to go all the way around and find that all the moisture, all the material has got like a really awesome moisture level to it. It feels so good. Nice. Now the leaves out here, they're not all that damp. They are a little bit dry, so in a way I am throwing a bunch of fairly dry material down into this nice moist stuff. Kind of making me question if I should have injected a little bit of moisture into the process. Wouldn't have been a bad idea, I suppose, now that I think about it. Hindsight's always 20/20. Alright, we haven't even gotten down to the center of the bin where the feeding was last applied. So that'll be interesting to see how they did. I do remember making a comment in the last video about how the stuff they were getting was like just an assortment of all their favorites, with cucumber and cabbage and coffee and banana peel. So they're going to get a nice assortment today too. Cantaloupe coffee, banana peel, a lot of repeat stuff, but we've also got some cauliflower and carrots. Cauliflower, carrot, coffee, cantaloupe. I'm with C's again. I didn't even do it intentionally. But once again, the banana is the odd man out with the B over there. So, all right, you know what? I've got a replacement. You saw the coffee and its filter. So we'll use this feeding zone indicator from last time as supplementary bedding down in the feeding zone. And I'm thinking that, you know, I think we'll probably be okay if we only add a little bit of top dressing replacement at the end. And that'll be our application of bedding today. Although, you know, I've really been striving to push this system closer to its capacity because it seems like the level just never ever changes. But more recently, with that extra emphasis on trying to bulk up the system and increase its volume, we've definitely seen an increase because we're actually almost at the halfway point up that little view window on the side. In the past, it was always fully visible, the entire view window, the bottom pane of it, if that's the right way to think about it, was always visible. Just until recently, past month and a half, 2 months, we've really put a focus on trying to build this system out a little bit, and the worms really look so good. I think it's got a lot to do with the very generous and frequent applications of moisture the system's been getting. I see banana peel leftovers here, which is normal. You know, these were part of the last feeding, and banana peels do take time. But let's just excavate a little bit more here. I don't know if it was necessary to open so much up, but I am just the curious type, and I somehow can't resist probing. And, you know, I guess just because we've got so much space down in there, I almost feel like some sort of bedding supplement down there would be nice. But I don't have anything within reach other than my leaves, so you know what? Leaves will be the bedding du jour. In there I didn't add much. It was perhaps just for the sake of having a little cushion or buffer, whatever, a little insulation between whatever's right there at the bottom of the hole in terms of worms and the stuff that I'm putting in, which is frozen. This way I don't feel like I've just dumped a bunch of frozen stuff all over my little red wigglers here. A little peace of mind, I guess. That's a nice feeding. What do you say? I think it is. We haven't even done all of it yet because the coffee has yet to go in. But I figured my grit's right here too. Let's grab a bit of that, and then in can go the last of it. Oh yeah, we got leftovers here too. Various things. Here we go. Excavated leftover food bits. Here again, now I'm putting worms right on top of the feeding they just got. Luckily the coffee's not frozen. Doesn't need to be. Alright, let's get this coffee filter out of the way because this is going to turn into our feeding zone indicator. Oh, here's that. I was wondering where this thing disappeared to. There was that one big main stem, the one that we're kind of tracking the progress of, but there's another smaller pumpkin stem in here too. And sometimes I come down here with the information about how old that pumpkin stem is, the big one that I placed down in the middle of the feeding zone. But it outdates the age of this system by quite a bit because it came with the worms from their old system. So that pumpkin stem is a long way in service. Many months, and it's still holding together. Probably not for much longer. Alright, here's our feeding zone indicator, and we'll sprinkle some leaves out on top, and we'll be finished. And guess what? We didn't even add a drop of water. Although, you know, now I'm starting to wonder if the leaves I blended in, and now these leaves that we're adding on top, being dry, would it make good sense to come in with my spray bottle? You know what? It certainly won't hurt. And I don't think the worms are going to complain either. And guess what? I could even use this as a chance to rinse off my glove, and at the same time, I can thank you guys. Thank you for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, please don't forget to leave me a quick thumbs up before you go. That's always really appreciated. But never, I never give you a thumbs up with the glove. Here's the real thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please also consider subscribing to the channel. That's very much appreciated as well. All right, everyone, that's it for our check-in with the now 569-day-old VermiBag Mini. Now, I think much more capable of hanging on to its moisture without all the supplementary moisture always having to go in to make up for what's been lost through evaporation. And I think that's really awesome. All right, everyone, that's it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.